This house is a symbol of rebellion. Its story connects gender, politics, and art. To most people, it looks like a cool house. It's that too. This is the Edith Farnsworth House in Plano, Illinois. It's celebrating its 75th birthday this year, but it's a home that's grasped attention ever since its construction. The home was completed in 1951 for Dr. Edith Farnsworth, a nephrologist from Chicago, and designed by famous modernist pioneer architect Mies van der Rohe. The Edith Farnsworth House hovers over a floodplain with an asymmetrical glass body extending into a veranda that floats against a travertine terrace. It's made of 8 steel columns, the only elements that bisect the walls of glass. Inside, everything of a traditional home: bedroom, living room, kitchen, bathrooms. In 1951, the idea of a traditional home, though, was quite different. Colonial Revival, craftsman homes, those were really the styles of picturesque American suburbs, and that conjured in the minds of Americans in the 40s and 50s when they thought of home. But this home is in the international style. That was a movement brought from European architects into America in the 1930s and 1950s, with the goal of creating a style that was untethered to a region, untethered to cultural norms. A lot of the traits are an asymmetrical body, details like windows flush with the walls, and flat roofs, as you can see here. The ornamentation and art of these homes were subdued and in the systems, mechanics, and use of materials. These architects, like Mies, were writing societal commentary through their architecture. Dr. Edith Farnsworth was a peculiarity at the time, too. She was a single woman, well-educated, a doctor. She found the cure for nephritis and was a classically trained violinist. She was also the person who brought the vision of Mies's first residential home in the US, and she wanted it on an impossible plot of land, a floodplain. It was to be her weekend escape from bustling Chicago. And it could be fair to say she was drawn in by Mies's work and how it contrasted traditional American life that she too contrasted. Mies warned her it would be a house unlike any other. Drama would envelop the home as construction costs continued to rise, reaching over 10 times over the budget, $800,000 in today's money, forcing the architect to sue and forcing Edith to countersue. And it didn't help there were some structural issues with the home, like a leaky roof. But that legal battle would be twisted into rumors of a love affair, painting Edith as a burned lover and making it out like the architect and the client were in an affair. One of the cool things about this home that I think is interesting, and you tell me if any visitors comment on this, there are really no walls.
Right, yeah. It is truly a one-room house.
Yeah.
But I find it very interesting. Even when we have an event in here, you could be in the back corner, which is basically like the sleeping area, you know, a bedroom, but not since there's no walls. And somebody could be out here. If there's enough of the air flowing, you can't hear what's happening over in this corner. Here we are entering what is considered the living area. Even obviously Dr. Farnsworth used this as the living area as well, since it has the fireplace. Some modifications have been made to this fireplace with the second owner. Dr. Farnsworth always had the issue of when the door would open, the ashes would spew out and get everywhere, because it is almost like a wind tunnel if you don't have the hopper windows open. And so there's been some modifications. We obviously don't use it anymore, but yeah. So this, actually Dr. Farnsworth had to fight to have this. From the front, you can see it was her stereo system. And then once we get around the corner, you will see this is what helped make the home more livable. This becomes her closet and storage area for everything she would need as she came on weekends. She would come over the weekend to stay here, and typically also Wednesdays in the middle of the week when she didn't have appointments. Part of why she picked here, though, was she always had to be available with a phone call to get back into the city.
Oh, okay.
And there is wiring that they have found that there's a bell on the exterior of the house that would have rung. So if she was out in her gardens or along the river, she still would have heard the phone ring to get back in here and hear about the emergency
Oh, wow.
she needed to get back for.
You mentioned no AC in the home. In the summer in Chicagoland, it can get very, very hot with the sun.
Yes.
And so these are original though to the home and
Correct.
how she cooled the
Yes,
space.
these are hopper windows. Anybody who's also familiar with Mies's Lakeshore Drive apartments, these are also a feature in all of those. So yes, you open these, then as I mentioned, you could open the front door and get that cross breeze going all the way through.
And this would be Edith's room.
Yes, except she never had a bed like this.
Huh.
She preferred a foam mattress on the ground is all the images we've seen. Eventually she had a different style of day bed that was not Mies designed in the living area. That probably also was a backup sleeping area. But yeah, we think with her height and then the long hours at a hospital being on her feet, she probably had back issues. And so she preferred a foam mattress on the floor. And you'll see it in some pictures it's here, some pictures it's moved out there. I think at one point she had this wardrobe turned and used this corner more as a writing area. And so that's what's nice about this is everything is like movable. I don't believe the bed is movable now anymore, but yeah, you can reconfigure the space at a whim, whatever you feel like. This stainless steel going all the way down was one of the first ones of its kind.
Wow.
That is now obviously very typical in any industrial type kitchen,
Right.
but at the time, not many people had done that type of counter before. So this space around the kitchen was what Mies originally envisioned being the main storage and even the like closet space. And that's where she was like, no, that is not enough, even for a vacation home. And she had the wardrobe added.
And I can see what you're saying about, you know, things are built in. You kind of have this obviously retro. This was 75 years ago. But a lot of these elements, you still see hardware like this. You still see the built-ins. You definitely still see cabinetry like this today. Why we're still talking about the home 75 years later comes down to who you ask. It leaves an imprint because it was so unlike anything in the US. It's a literal window to nature, and it's one of Mies's most pivotal pieces of work. It became a proof of concept for him that would propel Mies into his trademark work of modern steel and glass skyscrapers in the US. But it could never have come to be without Edith. Despite Edith Farnsworth thinking the home could be a model for suburban homes of the future, its impact on American homes was limited due to how ahead of its time it was. It's left ripples though, with its connections to nature and material-focused construction. Thousands of visitors every year visit the Edith Farnsworth House during their touring season annually. It's a site now run by the National Trust as a museum, and 5 years ago was renamed the Edith Farnsworth House to confirm the original homeowner's role in the design and construction of such an icon. Without the home's dramatic background of lies and tension, it's purely a cool house that makes you wonder, and when you're inside, get swept away by the captivating nature that changes by day, by season. It's both a site and design so engaging and makes one feel so vulnerable when in it that it's hard to forget 75 years later.